Abandon all your basic common sense, fellas, because they will continue enduring it gets so lonely here. Where were we? Yeah. You retreat indoors briefly after your talk with the gravedigger, then set about some simple chores. The gravedigger trusts you well enough to manage sweeping the floor, a task which does not take particularly long. Thank you for that passage of time. And the preparing of the meals, a task which takes slightly longer. Okay. Is that going to be significant in the next parts or just something you want to say? It is not until much later, however, once the sun has already sunk beneath the horizon and the moon is high in the sky, that the gravedigger returns from the outdoors. She is windswept after many hours spent exposed to the elements, and there is dirt caked beneath her fingernails. You'd think she would wear a glove after all this time, I'm just saying. The gravedigger removes her cloak, which hangs by the door, then looks to the pot suspended over the fire, a fire which you stoked with your own fair hands. The scent of cooking food, that of garlic and onions, fills the air, suffusing the interior of the kitchen in a honey aroma. Oh, not honey, homey aroma, which makes your stomach rumble. Taking stock of this, the gravedigger smiles at you, a toothy smile which, despite her status as a lowly peasant, is surprisingly clean and bright and white. You're surprised that people actually look good. You don't think people that naturally look good exist? Thank you so much, dear one. There's nothing like returning home after a hot day's work to find dinner already prepared. Now let me give it a test. The gravedigger dips a spoon into the soup, then brings it to her lips. She blows upon it. Then she places the spoon into her mouth, the wooden utensil clanking against her teeth. You observe this with a touch of anxiety. Will she like the food which you have prepared for her? You have cooked for her before in the past, and she was always very complimentary of your efforts. Cooking is not your forte, however. You never had to concern yourself with it, never really, growing up in relative comfort as you did. You think that you enjoy this rural, rustic mode of existence more than you did any of the privileges of your past life. At least now with the gravedigger, you have a steadfast friend, a staunch ally. When you are with her, you are not alone. That is worth its weight in gold. The gravedigger exclaims, after drawing the spoon from her lips, her smile a bright, guileless one. It's delicious. Your face flushes at this compliment. You are unaccustomed to receiving them, and it makes you feel good. Shyly, you ask the gravedigger if she truly means that, a query which makes the gravedigger smile. Of course I mean it. You've become quite good at cooking, really. That is a relief. Gosh, you were not very good at all of this cooking malarkey in the beginning. You did not know how to handle a knife nor how to peel a vegetable, and you cut yourself more than once. You put parts of your blood into the soup? Ew, gross. You bled into the soup on several occasions, but never once did you throw this sullied soup out. Ew. The gravedigger lives a humble existence, and she cannot afford to waste her precious ingredients. Your soups during your stay have all been seasoned with the slightest hint of iron. Yeah. Today's soup, however, is marked a step above all the rest. You did not cut yourself with the knife even once. Maybe your companion's compliments are not empty fluff. Maybe you really are improving. This soup should be ready to serve. I have some bread too that we can eat with. But I should brew some tea too. Let me. Ah, yes, the tea. You knew that you were forgetting something. How in the hell do we forget the drink, the beverage to accompany with the thing that we're eating with? How? You were so focused on the soup, it must have slipped your mind. Your face flushes yet again at this oversight, and shyly you offer to correct it. The gravedigger, however, waves your request aside. No, it's alright. You made the dinner, so I'll brew the tea. It's only fair and it won't take all that long. Would you mind serving up the soup while I'm busy? Of course you would not mind. You do enjoy making yourself useful. Instead of fucking complaining every goddamn time, just complimenting every fucking beautiful woman without thinking thoroughly that, hey, don't you think we're in danger here? But sure, okay, for a lady, you are awfully domestic. You work alongside a gravedigger to finish your nightly meal, and together you serve it, soup and bread, alongside 2 cups of piping hot tea, prepared by your hostess's own 2 hands. You sit together at the table, then partake in the simple fare after saying grace. The soup really is quite good, despite it being made from only the most commonplace of ingredients. There's a bit of a kick to it, and it warms you from the inside out. The tea, meanwhile, is very soothing, so much so it makes you feel rather sleepy. You would like to sit with the gravedigger for a little longer and tell stories, as you have sometimes in the past, that or play cards. The nights are long and there is no better way to pass them than spending time with her. Games of old maid, lass, will have to wait. You are too tired for it. You do not know what has happened, but after consuming your victuals, you feel utterly fatigued. You explain your predicament to the gravedigger between your yawns, and she nods in response. Oh, she put some sleeping agents there. That's alright, you don't need to stay up with me. Not if you ain't up to it. You should head off to bed and rest that pretty head of yours. You do not think you are particularly pretty, but you presume that the gravedigger is just regurgitating a phrase to you. She does not truly mean it. How could she? She's far prettier than you are, and yet we keep calling her the lowly peasant. You thank the gravedigger for her understanding, then rise from the table. You retreat to the spare bedroom on trembling legs, then change out of your clothes. You have only just slid into your nightgown when you hear the rapping of knuckles upon your door, light and unobtrusive. I thought I said tamping, whatever. This rapping could. Hey, knock, knock, and a baby, of course, belongs to but one person. It is the gravedigger, come to check up on you. It hasn't even been 5 seconds, girl. I'm sorry, the gravedigger says, her voice soft, but you rushed to your room so soon after eating. I couldn't help but worry about you. Would you mind if I took a look at you? I just want to see if you're all right. The gravedigger is trying to keep her voice steady, but you can hear it wavering regardless. She really does sound concerned, so much so she could very well be on the brink of tears. You do not want her to cry for you. You would feel horribly guilty if you upset her, even inadvertently, given all that she has done for you. You bid the gravedigger entry into your room, therefore, without further delay, an invitation she hastens to take. The door swings inwards with a creak, and there your hostess stands, still attired in black, her clothes a stark contrast to your pure white, off-white nightgown. Yeah, anything else? There's this weird part here where we keep describing her, what she's wearing and shit. Like, what the hell? Are you objectifying her? Is materialism the only thing you fucking see in this piece of shit writing? Come on, man. Wait, I didn't mean to say piece of shit writing. I meant to say piece of shit story. There you go. The gravedigger looks at you, seated in bed, with your hair freed from your usual braids and exhales. Is that relief, you wonder, playing about her face? I don't know, but why? I don't know, ask her. What was she expecting to see exactly before entering your bedchamber? I don't know, ask her. Thank you for letting me in, the gravedigger says, toying with her fingers. How do you feel? Not too terrible, you reassure her. There are no particular problems with your health. You just feel tired. Are you sure you're not sick? Your face does look a bit pale. There will be nothing out of the norm. You are always pale. Har har. True. Now, is there anything I can do for you? Would you like something warm to drink, or maybe a hot break to the place in your head? It should keep you warm. You appreciate your hostess's thoughtfulness, but you reassure her that this won't be necessary. You will be fine. I hope so. I thought that about my father too before he... The gravedigger begins, but her voice soon trails off. She does not finish that thought. She does not need to. You know now what she's thinking of before she entered your bedroom. We did? How the fuck did we? I'm just figuring this out now. Cold, clammy skin, a sweating brow, rank oozing pustules. You think upon these symptoms, which are eerily similar to those recounted during the Great Plague which once beset your own country, and you shudder. Do I have pus in me? If you don't want anything, then I'll be on my way, the gravedigger says, but before that, this was just a fancy on my part, but I was wondering, would you mind if I brushed your hair for a little while? Your hair? That's right. It's such a pretty shade of red, is all I just thought. Oh, well, it's just a fancy, really. You don't have to let me, not if you don't want to. But I thought it might help you relax if you're feeling under the weather. I've heard it's supposed to be soothing. That is what the gravedigger says, but you have the distinct feeling that she's the one looking for solace here. She's not quite so selfless, perhaps, as she would like you to think. But she has been so very good to you and has done so very much for you that you do not want to begrudge her this small self-indulgence. You rather think she deserves it. You agree, therefore, to her request, and upon doing so, you are certain you have made the right choice. Your hostess's face lights up immediately, in a manner which makes you blush. Oh, thank you. It'd be my honor. Now let me fetch my brush. The gravedigger retreats from your room in a hurry, but returns soon thereafter, holding in her right hand the promised brush. This artifact acquired, the gravedigger then settles herself upon your bed by your side. She looks at your hair for a few moments, her expression pensive. She announces that she will begin. The gravedigger leans in. The wooden frame of the bed creaks under her weight because she's fat. Although she's able to hide her fat. A creak which melds with the sighing of the breeze outdoors. You can feel the bristles of the brush running through your hair. It is soothing enough, so much so it makes you shiver. The sensation is a pleasant one and somewhat nostalgic. Did your mother do this for you, you wonder, when you were a little girl? If she did, it must have been when you were a very little girl. Okay, who cares? You have not seen your mother in quite some time, not after you enrolled at the conservatoire. Oh, you have such lovely hair, dear one. It's soft, just like silk. Not at all like mine. Mine is so coarse. This gentle voice draws you out of your vague, half-formed reminiscences. Sounds as though the gravedigger is lost in nostalgia of her own because of her voice, and when she next speaks is dreamy. I think my mother used to brush my hair like this for me, back when she were still alive. That must have been a long time ago, though. It is funny, you think, as the bristles of the brush continue to slide through your tresses, that you and the gravedigger should both be reminiscing in tandem about your respective mothers. Perhaps there is something material in the act of brushing one's hair, which is wont summoning forth such image. I don't fucking get it. I would not know personally, because we are fucking stupid and moronic and imbecilic. Every stupid word in the dictionary. We are. I cannot remember my own mother at all. I don't think I liked having my hair brushed very much. The gravedigger continues, her breath warm against the exposed nape of your neck. My mother used to complain that I squirmed too much. I can remember that. She always told me to sit still, though it wasn't my fault I squirmed. She used too much force. Now this is curious. It sounds as though the reminiscences of the gravedigger are not particularly fond at all. Did she not get along well with her mother? I can't really say, the gravedigger replies in a somber sort of a voice. I was young, like I said, when she died. I really don't remember her too well. But I don't think she ever had that much time for me. She was too busy with all of the cooking and the cleaning. Oh, and looking after my baby brothers. But she had time enough despite that to brush your hair. She did what she felt like she had to make me look presentable. Not that it really worked. I wasn't like the other girls in the village, you see, who liked to sit indoors with their mothers and sew. I'd always loved the outdoors. My father said I inherited that from him. Ruefully, the gravedigger smiled. Now, not that you could see it with your back facing her. Yeah, like what the fuck, how? God is so dumb. My mother said I wasn't very, maidenly. She didn't like that I always trapeze around outside after my father watching as he dug graves. She said it wasn't appropriate, like I was some sort of a princess wearing a fine dress. The gravedigger snorts. I used to get a bit muddy, yes, and maybe I did get burrs in my clothes and knots in my hair, but it should not have mattered. It's not like I ever had any hopes of marrying a prince, no matter what my mother said. But still, she hoped. She had a lot of hopes, my mother. High hopes. I think she might have resented my father, maybe, for working such a menial job. Our profession is an honest one, but it's never made much money. Except for that plague. I think my mother was hoping for fine jewels and dresses and I don't know, she always had ideas. Her head was full of fairy tales. It was a shame, I suppose, that her reality didn't match up to what she wanted. I didn't match up to what she wanted. The bitterness in your friend's voice is unmistakable, so much so you want to console her. Got a PS2 anywhere around here? What would you say to her, though? You never met your companion's mother. You never will either. Her cold, inert body has been lying in the graveyard, buried beneath a tombstone, for over a decade. You have no way of ascertaining whether your companion's mother truly cared for her. You do have intelligence enough, which is not enough most of the times, however, to understand that poorly thought out condolences can cause more harm than good. You would not like it if people tried to reassure you that of course your father loved you really. If he loved you, then why did he send you away from home? Why did he never send you any letters? You know, he was worried about his finances, but that seems a poor excuse to pretend that his only daughter did not exist. As for your mother, meanwhile, she was nice, at least you think she was, but she was woefully ineffectual. Though she was nominally an adult, she always cleaved before your father's judgment. You think that she was afraid of him. You do not try to tell the gravedigger, therefore, that her mother loved her, that she must have done, else you would not have given birth to her. Instead, you sit there, letting the brush run through your hair, and you say quietly that you understand. Sometimes you feel like a disappointment yourself. Well, the gravedigger says after a pause, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I guess it happens to all of us. You guess so? Parents are only people after all. While one would hope one's parents would be kind and attentive, they too can fall victim to the caprices of their own. Just because one has brought a child into this world, it does not mean one will be able to take care of it properly. Okay. Are we criticizing the parents, etc.? What was that fucking generation? Gen Z parents not taking care of children, probably, whatever. Wow, this aged really well. Not all parents are responsible, just not all people are responsible. It is a painful subject. Oh well, it's alright if my mother never liked me, or even if she never loved me. I know my father did, and that's all that matters. He was always there for me, no matter what. Your companion's voice catches in her throat. She winces. At least until he wasn't. He died. And I didn't do a thing to help him. I mean, how could... what would you even do? You don't even know the knowledge on what to do to help a dying man, especially the one who contracted a plague. Your companion's shoulders are beginning to shake. How do you know that? You have your back turned to her this whole time. You still cannot see her but you can feel her body convulsing. So she's holding onto your hair and it's shaking like a fucking rattle or something. You can sense her loneliness rolling off in her waves. It is all-consuming, like the waters of a deep, dark ocean. Can you not remind me of the fucking mermaid again, please? That is the dumbest piece of shit I've ever read. Grief anew pierces your heart, not on your behalf, but for the sake of your benefactress. He does not deserve to suffer so much. This you have no qualms with telling her. You turn to face her and pluck the brush, which has been hovering in the air, inert from her fingers. Then you let her know that her father's death was not her fault. What could she have done? She could not have cured his illness. I know, but I can't help think, what if? I keep racking my head over and over, trying to come up with something. God, am I the only one who's fucking bored here? Jeez. Get on with it already. But I can't think of anything. And even if I could, it's too late. He's already dead, lol. He's dead and I buried him. And now I'm all alone. What about me? I've been here this whole time. We've been together for days now, I think. She might have been alone, you tell the gravedigger, but she isn't now. Not anymore. How can she be when you are there? Yeah. Whatever happened to that person chasing after us? What the fuck? I know that. I know, and I'm grateful, but I don't know if I deserve it. Why would she not deserve your company? You don't understand, yeah. Because I couldn't do nothing for nobody. That's a double negative, so you could do something for somebody? My father always looked out for me when I was a little girl, but when she needed me the most, I failed him. I failed everyone. What the fuck could you even do? You're just a fucking person. All of the villagers, all of my friends, all died. But then again, everybody else in the world has died according to this story. But sure, what would I do if the same thing happened to you? I don't think I could bear it. So what is your suggestion? I don't want you getting sick too, not when I care about you so much. I thought I'd gotten used to being on my own, but now that you're here, it's making me worry all over again. I've been worrying so much I can't sleep from it. I'm scared. Your companion's voice catches in her throat. Then she collapses in on herself. Stupid. She leans forwards, her arms wound about her middle, as if to steady herself, and she cries. She cries. For a few moments, you look at the gravedigger, unsure of what to do. The fuck am I supposed to do? Her pale voice, streaked with silvery tears, seems to flicker in the candlelight. Her shoulders, which seems too slender to bear the accumulative weight of all the sorrows she has endured, are shaken. Your fatigue continues to cling to you, as insistent as the fog which rolls amongst the tombstones in the graveyard at night. You're not so very tired, however. You cannot offer your hostess some comfort. You do not know what you can say to console her. You feel too weary to think of pretty sophisms. Sophisms? How the fuck do I pronounce that again? I know this word, but I just don't know how it's pronounced correctly. Because sophisms, I think, is sophisticated, sophistry, right? So, sophisms? I don't know. But there is something you can think of. What? Grab a boob or something? You would not typically be so bold, of course, but you are tired enough for once to throw caution to the wind. Not in the tears of the gravedigger are awfully arresting. You open your arms and before the gravedigger can pass comment, you pull her to your chest. Oh. A soft exclamation escapes the lips of the gravedigger, quieter than the sound of wintry snow as it brushes the ground. Then there is nothing. The gravedigger is stiff in your arms for a few moments, like the corpses she and her father used to seal away inside their wooden coffins. She is all wide eyes and awkward, pointed elbows, tears still coursing down her pale cheeks. You worry briefly as you hold her that you have perhaps made a mistake. Were your attempts at consoling her too clumsy? You would not know. You have never been in a situation like this before. You have never consoled any friends before because you have never had any friends to console. It is not so now, however. You are as far away from your own life as it is possible to be, and the gravedigger does not curse you for your impudence. I don't know. Neither does he try to squirm away from you. Instead, she sits there, still as a statue, cradled in your arms. Oh, I'm Sniff. Very sorry to show you something so embarrassing. It's just, I get so lonely sometimes. Hard, yeah. Okay, the only appealing part of saying the game title is when you do it rarely, but if you do it all the fucking time, it gets so fucking annoying, honestly. Until at long last, with a breathy sob, she lets the full weight of her body fall against yours. You run your hands against your zombie companion's shoulder, blades in her back, and gently soothe her. You tell her that she does not need to apologize. There's no shame in crying. You hug her for many, many minutes while she sobs against your chest, wetting the front of your nightgown. God, how many fucking sentences are we going to use just to say, yep, I am consoling her? No further words passed between you and that night. But they do not need to. Words are relevant in a moment. I'm slurring my words now. In a moment, as tender as this shared between two souls who have come to understand one another through mutual loneliness. You slide beneath your sheets. You still feel exhausted, and the gravedigger joins you without asking for permission. That bitch. It would be unnecessary. Piece of politeness, really, given your acceptance is all but assured. You have already accepted the gravedigger. After all, every single inch of her. You have accepted her hospitality. You have accepted her food. Now you are accepting her company. You arrange yourself between the sheets, then draw her body to yours. The gravedigger is not yet changed into her nightwear. Her clothes will be horribly rumpled when she awakes come the following morning, her head resting against your chest. But tomorrow has ceased to matter. It no longer exists because we are dead the next day. There is no concept of time between the two of you, even though time moves forward. Time waits for no one. Not a thought of the day which will dawn once this night inevitably ends. Instead, there is only the warmth shared between you and the wetness of the cheeks of the gravedigger. There is the sound, irregular now, and less intense than before, of your companion's muted, muffled sobs. There's this gentle, tender moment snatched in the midst of a deep, dark night, which can never be replaced. Okay. Your eyelids feel heavy, as though weighted down with the stones. They droop inexorably downwards, pulling you like a drowning maiden into the dark, impenetrable abyss of a slumber. You yawn. Then you fall asleep, cozied up beside the gravedigger like two cats in a basket. You sleep and you sleep and you sleep more deeply than you have allowed yourself in quite some time. There you go. But when you awake, you find that you are no longer in the bed upon which you slept in, shrouded by sheets. The gravedigger, too, is nowhere to be seen. Instead, you're quite alone, lying by yourself in the dark. We got buried alive, that bitch. You blink, but your surroundings do not become any clearer. Is it the middle of the night? Perhaps you were roused from your slumber by the desire to relieve yourself, or else to slake your thirst? Alright. Your sleep has been awfully disordered as of late, and the smallest of noises must have been enough to disturb you. That does not sound quite right, though. You slept well. Of that, you are certain. Your body feels invigorated as though it has slumbered for hours and hours. How many hours? You do not know. You do not know much of anything, which is true. You can feel a strange pinching sensation around your chest, however, and around your arms. It would appear as though somebody, but who else could it have been, save the gravedigger, changed your attire while you were sleeping. That is a startling thought, but the darkness which entombs you is even more so. Oh my God, how long are we gonna linger in this fucking scene? The darkness which surrounds you is unsettlingly complete. It is so thick you cannot penetrate it. Your newfound woes do not stop, however, at this deep, unnatural darkness. It is cold, too, and you are lying upon something hard, some sort of a stone slab. What is going on? Reach up, but your movements are soon stymied? There's something heavy lying atop of you, something that is limiting your movements. You were anxious before upon awaking, but at this discovery you feel downright aggrieved. A sharp prong of panic pierces you, but you try to suppress it. Hysterics will get you nowhere. In most cases, they only tend to make bad situations even worse. You ought to know that. Come on, get to the point already, Jesus! You swallow your mounting dread as best as you can, though it is coming on thick and fast, and try to squirm. Fuck you, fuck this game. I'm tired of reading, you piece of shit. It's so slow. It drags on for fucking ever. Get to the point already. Jeez. So it gets so lonely. If you want to try the game for yourself, the links are in the description. That is all for today. Stay safe and take care of yourself. God, it's fucking right. Yap. Shut the fuck up.